Good, happy Tuesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, health centers struggle to find formula for families they serve. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Hi, a better internet experience is finally here. With Fidium Fiber Internet, you get ultra-fast gig speeds on a dedicated...
When it comes to formula, like the rest of the country, store shelves on the seacoast are practically bare.
I went the other day, there was one can of formula, and I know that I have 600 babies in this area that need to be fed.
Crying because they're just so stressed out.
At the health center, Congressman Chris Pappas hosted a roundtable to discuss the crisis. He says warning signs were missed.
There should have been some red flags going up here when production was shut down at one facility in Michigan, understanding what that does to the supply chain.
But the congressman says right now it's about ensuring formula gets on the shelf, even if it has to be flown in from overseas. At the health center, they're worried that families who can't find formula are taking dangerous steps.
We don't want them using homemade formula recipes, which is sometimes what's happening. They're finding them online. They're trying to trade for formulas that we don't know where they came from outside of the country sometimes.
And for some families, formula is their only option.
Our foster families can't breastfeed. Our single dads can't breastfeed. Foster children, moms who can't lactate.
And the health center worries that this crisis will continue to be felt in the years to come.
In 5 years, if these infants aren't being fed correctly, we're going to see major health issues.
The health center says what they need now is support, but looking towards the future, they want to make sure there's a backup plan in place so that they never have to deal with this again. Reporting live in Somersworth, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. .2 magnitude earthquake rattles Wolfeboro. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Hi, a better internet experience is finally here. With Fidium Fiber Internet, you get ultra-fast gig speeds on a dedicated connection. That's 1,000 megabits per second. Whole home Wi-Fi connects every room and every device. Smart Wi-Fi means that your home network learns from how you use the internet. It also means your devices are connected with the best signal strength at all times. There's no contract, no data cap, there's no shenanigans on your bill, just ultra-fast gig speeds.
Yes, it was confirmed that just after midnight, there was an earthquake that hit the Wolfeboro area. And since it happened, there have been more than 40 reports of people feeling it, whether it was the rumbles or even the loud noise, the explosion that was reportedly at around midnight in the Wolfeboro area. The 2.2 magnitude earthquake was centered just to the north of Lake Wentworth in Wolfeboro at a depth of about 1.5 miles. And it was loud and caused some concern for those who experienced it. But these minor earthquakes do happen here in New Hampshire, especially in the Lakes region.
They tend to be of pretty low magnitude. We have had 5 measurable earthquakes this year, the highest being a 2.9 that happened in February. But that's the point, is that they're generally very low on the scale.
We were just in awe about it because, this doesn't happen very often in these parts.
Now, the strongest earthquake, at least in modern history here in New Hampshire, was in 1940, and that one was a 5.6 in magnitude. There were chimneys that had fallen over and even plaster on walls in the Lakes region that became cracked after that one. So it's certainly possible we can see earthquakes that strong here in the Granite State. I'm meteorologist Haley LaPointe, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Friends of former EMT say they're shocked by charges he drugged and sexually assaulted children. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
A new experience is coming to New Hampshire, filled with excitement, a new destination, a place to experience tradition, experience cutting-edge innovation, experience history, the new 6-Hour Experience Center.
54-year-old Todd Burnham of Kensington will be arraigned on 27 felony charges this Thursday. It's alleged that between 2012 and 2019, Burnham drugged and sexually assaulted 3 different victims under the age of 13. The Kensington police chief says they found more than 800 child sexual abuse images in a search of Burnham's residence. Burnham was arrested in January after a 2-hour standoff at his home. The chief says Burnham is a former EMT for Kensington and East Kingston fire departments, his most recent employers issuing statements. He's no longer employed by Portsmouth Hospital, which includes the Seabrook Emergency Room, but they cannot comment on the reason for his termination because it's a personnel matter. And from Action Ambulance Service, where Burnham also worked, saying they have been aware of the situation since he was arrested in January and have been cooperating with law enforcement.
Just a sad situation for everybody involved, and I pray to God it's not true.
Derek Reckendorf was Burnham's EMT partner for 5 years until 2018, describing him as a great medic and trusted family friend.
We've had many great times together, spent time, holidays, swimming, camping, everything it's shocking.
And I know the charges are horrendous and sickening. That's not the guy I know.
The Kensington chief believes there are more victims and urges anyone with information to come forward and talk to the department. Now, Burnham is held on preventative detention at the county jail. He's expected for arraignment on Thursday. Reporting live in Kensington, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester's auto set to become nation's largest operation for electric fleet vehicles. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Hi. A better internet experience is finally here. With Fidium Fiber Internet, you get ultra-fast gig speeds on a dedicated connection. That's 1,000 megabits per second. Whole home Wi-Fi connects every room and every device. Smart.
Well, Tom, it seems like just about everyone is now starting to take a closer look at electric vehicles, especially given the situation we're in when it comes to gas prices. Now, this afternoon, the New Hampshire Energy Innovation Conference was held here at the Derryfield School in Manchester. Merchants Auto, the Hooksett-based dealership, they were a guest speaker. Well, they're set to become the nation's largest operator of electric fleet vehicles. What that means is that the dealership works with Ford, GM, and other electric automakers and sources those vehicles to companies across the country. Also discussed today is an interesting process called vehicle-to-grid two-way electric vehicle charging, which essentially allows EVs to act as conductors to carry energy to charging stations if a master grid goes down.
The solar plant all of a sudden gets cloud cover comes through and their production drops off. If there is thousands of EVs in that area, those EVs that are plugged in can be called to action to just provide a little bit of support to the grid till the cloud cover goes away.
And Merchants Auto says it expects to see an increase in production of electric vehicles in the coming months and years to try to keep up with that demand. Reporting live in Manchester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Health experts caution against panic, encourage awareness about monkeypox outbreak. Let's take a listen to that video from WPBF 25 News, Florida.
A new experience is coming to New Hampshire, filled with excitement, a new destination, a place to experience tradition, experience cutting-edge innovation, experience history, the new 6-Hour Experience Center.
First, concerns over the spread of monkeypox. Cases have been reported throughout Europe and in the United States, including a presumptive case in Broward County. It is one of several cases being investigated in the U.S. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Felicia Rodriguez.
And I'm Tiffany Kenny. This afternoon, the CDC gave an update on where the investigations stand. Jade Jarvis joining us now in the studio, and she listened in on that telebriefing. Jade, what are local doctors telling you?
Well, Felicia, Tiffany, there are still a very small number of cases here in the United States, so doctors are really emphasizing that this isn't something to panic over. However, they are encouraging people to be aware, do their research so they know what monkeypox is and what to do if they come in contact with the virus. Health experts are cautiously watching the monkeypox outbreak, but for now, staying calm.
I don't think we should be very frantically concerned at this time.
The virus, which is typically found in Western and Central Africa, has been popping up recently in places it typically doesn't, like parts of Europe and here in the United States. So far, the CDC confirming 1 case in Massachusetts and 4 other presumptive cases in 3 other states, including 1 in Broward County. They say all are men who have traveled outside of the country. Dr. Moti Ramgopal is an infectious disease doctor with HCA Florida Lawnwood and St. Lucie hospitals. He says the symptoms start out much like the flu.
So the earliest symptoms of monkeypox can be fever, and this is usually followed by a rash a few days later. Something very similar to what we would have seen with shingles.
Other things to look out for: head and muscle aches and swollen lymph nodes. It's primarily spread through direct contact with skin lesions.
The less major route is respiratory droplets. So if someone has the lesions in their mouth or their nose or their upper respiratory tract, and they cough or spit, and you're within 3 feet of someone for an extended period of time, if you look at the CDC guidelines, this is what they say, then of course that can also be another form of exposure.
Dr. Raj Panjabi, who works in global health security and biodefense at the White House, says the Biden administration is taking the outbreak very seriously, working to secure a sufficient amount of vaccines and treatment, and providing guidance to health providers and officials.
If you have the symptoms of monkeypox, that the most important thing you can do is contact your healthcare provider immediately so you can get the care and treatment that's needed, you can get tested, and those who you are around and may have been exposed can also get vaccinated.
The CDC says the monkeypox and smallpox viruses are related, so the tools the U.S. has to fight smallpox can be utilized for the monkeypox outbreak. Right now, they're in the process of releasing the Jynneos vaccine, which is a smallpox vaccine, to high-risk, close contacts of some of the early monkeypox patients. In studio, Jade Jarvis, WPBF 25 News.
Jade.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for tuning in for this edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.